Hi. Um, I really just felt like tonight was the night to talk about um people kind of misinterpreting and misunderstanding me as a person. Um, I've gotten this for most of my life since I've been, Michael. Um, People tend to misinterpret and like misconstrue me in ways that really just don't make sense for me. Um, I can very clearly tell people, hey, I am this way, and hey, I do this. I feel like this when this happens, and X, Y, Z, A, B, C. I can really describe myself. That's not to say it's like always 100% accurate. People are gonna have different understandings, as I'm understanding. Um, but for the most part, I don't know. It's like people, no matter what, will misinterpret and misunderstand you. I'm understanding. Um, and even though it's something I'm used to, I do think it is like generally harmful because I think people put a lot of their um interpretations onto things. Um, and it's mostly a matter of like intent versus impact. So how did I intend to do this versus how did it impact the person or impact the situation? That's kind of what I use as like a standard for things. But I don't know, I feel like because people misunderstand and misconstrue the things that I do. Even my dad, for a really great example, my dad would, for most of my life, most of my teen life, not, I would say most of my adult life now, because I'm only 21, um, he would really, he would think I was like cruel and mean and like, um, just not a good person. Because a lot of the things that I brought up when speaking to him were just like things that he would do to me when he didn't like that I would bring those things up. He didn't like that I would, talk about those things to him. And he would just think that I was just like denouncing him and just being disrespectful to him, XYZ, ABC. He would just think those things. And his understanding of me has changed since I've been like on my own and living on my own and doing things on my own. Without any help from anyone. Um, and he has just been he's been understanding me in a very, very different way. And that's kind of like what happens within my relationships, or even like ex relationships. People will, kind of misinterpret me, and then later down the line come back and just like talk about that misinterpretation, or just like talk about their malunderstanding of me. And it's the same thing for situations. It's the same thing for others, I'm sure. I personally don't like to do that to others, but I'm sure I do. I'm sure I do. And I think I want to talk about this because it can be such a hurtful experience and it can be such a genuinely like, it can be genuinely like an experience that's so informative of like a person's understanding of the world and a person's understanding of like themselves and others. Because I genuinely, I try to like come in with like my best intentions and my best foot forward. And sometimes that's not, the understanding of others. But I tend to realize that people along the way will mostly understand my intent within things. Um, I don't know, I'm trying to be myself in a world that doesn't want that from people. And understanding how difficult that can be is quite the experience. Um, yeah, I get a lot of, I've never heard someone say that before. I get a lot of, I've never experienced someone like you a lot. I get a lot of, you know, you're so interesting, XYZ ABC 1 2 3. But then when it comes down to it, people aren't, people are like mostly upset, I guess, with the interpretation they had of me and not the execution of me, which isn't really about me, right? But I end up dealing with those consequences and with the repercussions of those things. Um, but is this what being yourself is like? Is this what like I don't know, maybe it's because everything has become so like polarized or because everything has become so intense. People just take their pain and they lead with it. That's that's not Michael. I don't take my pain and lead with it. I take my heart and I lead with it. Like I genuinely want to experience the love of others and I genuinely want to love others. And yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm leaving now. I'm gone.